Lesson 40, sum of the angle measures of a triangle and angle pairs. So when we're just going to draw 3 triangles, one right, one acute, and one obtuse. Whoa. So for all triangles, every triangle has 3 angles. That add up to 180 degrees. Adjacent angles. The word adjacent means next to. So adjacent angles are 2 angles that are next to each other. So if we have a triangle ABC, angle B and angle C are adjacent. Angle C and angle A are adjacent. And angle A and angle B are adjacent. They're just next to each other, considered adjacent angles. Notice that they will share a side. So angle A and angle C, they share that side, AC. So when we have 2 lines that intersect, they form angle pairs. So if we label the angles 1, 2, 3, 4, the angles that are opposite each other, the ones that are not adjacent to each other, are called vertical angles. So angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. And angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent, which means they have the same measure. Have you seen a congruent sign before? Oh, okay, so this is equal and similar. So together, I did not realize we haven't seen this sign before. So this sign means congruent, which means it has the same measure. They're going to be the same size. C-O-N-G-R-U-E-N-T. So if you look at this figure here, you could say that angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent, right? Because they're right next to each other. Angle 2 and angle 3 are adjacent. 3 and 4 is adjacent. 4 and 1 is adjacent. If you notice, the 2 adjacent angles form a straight line together. They make a straight line. So what, if we added those 2 together, what measure would we get? Yeah, 180 degrees. Yes, a straight angle is 180 degrees. So we're just going to write out some of this. Angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent angles and form a straight angle. It's on the other side. So there's some, I'm messing up your notes. this is a little bit different, is 180 degrees. I think your sentence says supplementary angles, two angles that add to 180 degrees. I think it's on the back side. Maybe? Maybe not. Okay, so supplementary angles basically these are two angles that add to 180 degrees. So if you notice, angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary because they will add to 180. Same with angle 2 and angle 3 together will be supplementary. 3 and 4 are supplementary, 4 and 1 are supplementary. It's two angles that add to 180. If you have three angles that add to 180, they're not supplementary. So by definition, supplementary is just two angles that add to 180. And then we have what's called complementary angles. It is not with an I. It's with an E, complementary. We're not talking about giving each other a compliment. We're talking about two angles that add to 90 degrees. One way to remember is by looking at the first letter, supplementary and complementary. Sometimes kids will get those two confused. If you can think of supplementary is the same measure as a straight angle. So that S right there kind of goes with it. And the measure of a straight angle is 180. So supplementary are two angles that add to 180. And complementary, if you can think of a corner. I spelled it wrong. A corner makes the 90 degrees. So it's two angles that add to that add to 90 degrees would be complementary. So they start with the same letter. Complementary corner, supplementary straight. So, and we've already talked about when two lines intersect, the adjacent angles are supplementary. We've already discussed that, so we're not going to write it out again. We are going to do some practice to see what we've learned. That's the end of the lesson.